Okay, so we are at a coffee shop right now, so there might be some noise from the traffic. But Theo, you've been around a lot of
Yes,
people who channel or talk in elevated language.
I
How
have.
do you relate to that now?
First off, thank you for inviting me here, and also excellent question. Yes, that is interesting. My approach now, as in anything in life, but channeling particularly, is I am still open to information or consciousness of a particular vibration or something. I don't. A lot of what a lot of what I used to listen to, I do not listen to anymore. So I'm extremely selective. I'm not like, oh, I can't listen to any more channel stuff. Most of it I cannot, but there are occasional ones. Um, Crimson Circle channels are good. That's probably the only one I listen to. But I'm not like I don't listen to any.
You
But
don't what?
it's not like I close to anything besides Crimson Circle. I listen to other channels if I'm open, if it's synchronistically happening.
Oh, so
Um,
it's not biased.
what?
It's not biased
No.
because you
Oh yeah,
listen to
absolutely.
others.
No, absolutely. Or anything, whether why someone who's written a book, or I'm open to anything because I can feel truth, hear truth, so it doesn't have to come from a particular source. But I have to say, generally with channels, most of them I no longer listen to because they generally have a very specific kind of belief system, and most of them I don't subscribe to anymore.
Yeah, they're kind of like in a box.
Yes.
And a lot of it is also performative.
Extremely so, yeah. Which is not a bad thing.
Well, they
But
need fans and subscribers
yes,
and to
oh
pay
yeah.
for it.
Honestly, there's a spectrum. There are things I just would not, for a nanosecond, I would listen to. I mean, 10 years ago, I might have. It's been, and again, I'm not even saying it's a bad thing or I'm above it all. It's just you resonate when your consciousness shifts. You resonate to different truths, and they're just at different points along the way. I'm just very selective. Not very little, honestly, I would listen to now, except for Crystal Circle. And even then, honestly, if it's a talk I'm not really into. I don't listen to it as gospel. I do nothing as gospel anymore.
Yeah, for me, it's like the sparkles are gone and it's a little more dull, and I
Yeah.
don't need the. Oh wait, big truck coming by. I don't need the stimulation as much.
Yes.
Like I enjoyed the experience, but I feel like in a way like I'm grown out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. I concur. Absolutely. Same thing.
All right, so Theo, if someone listening is curious but also deeply suspicious of all this, what would you tell them?
Honestly, keep. That's actually a good. As long as you're open. Honestly, that's my perspective on everything. I am open. I'm skeptically open, meaning I I check a truth, but I'm open, but I'm cautious. Like I kind of feel it out, feel into it. If someone is suspicious, that's a kind of a strong word. But some people I know are very, very closed down or not open, which is fine too. I mean, everyone is where they are.
But I think a little suspicion's good too.
No, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Whether it's suspicious or skeptical, it's kind of, it's a semantic word. Um, if you're skeptical or suspicious, that's fine.
I think it's good, and I think that you shouldn't feel like someone's trying to convince you.
Exactly, absolutely. That is not a good sign. If anyone's trying to, kind of proselytize or show the area of your ways or light the path for you, I am very suspicious of that. Extremely
Oh,
suspicious.
self-proclaimed guru.
Oh, don't even start me on that. I will roll on that. I don't even talk about that because that's a whole other topic. The truth is always within. It's a cliche, but it's true. Truth is within, and you will have mirrors that will mirror that back and expand it. That's been my path, my journey, and I've come across amazing channels, books, teachers, whatever. But it's been very particular for me, as I feel it is for everyone, to find their own truth. Because the truth, again, cliche says, it always comes back. You're finding the truth within. So being very cautious, suspicious even, or skeptical is a good sign. But always be open, because once you close down, that's not a good sign. I would
Exactly.
say remain open as you are exploring, but absolutely check everything. Do not take everything as gospel. So that's how I'd answer
Yeah,
that
don't
question.
take it as gospel. And also, I think it's really important to have compassion for yourself, because you could be listening, and then for me, it happened. Like, you're listening, and then later on in your journey, you're like, I can't believe I believed that. And then,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely. No. Yeah. Well,
Like, just have compassion.
absolutely. And even I've even joined a couple of groups where, like, I was doing the old "what was I thinking," but I only found out once I joined. I mean, if I hadn't joined, everything is about consciousness. And I have this. I've come up with this term recently. I'm going this with a few of my friendships and some relationships where things aren't going well anymore or as good. But I learned so much from friendships that I call it negative clarity, meaning I get when something's not working out, I get a lot of clarity from the negation, the experience, what would seem a negative experience, because it's bringing me clarity.
Well,
Which
it doesn't have to. Don't
what?
label it I wouldn't label it negative. It's just an experience.
Well, no, but I said negative clarity. So basically, it's negative conscious. Okay. Negative is still a pretty neutral term. It's not bad. It's just, okay. You can have a bad experience with someone or something and go, I will never do that again. I'm now more conscious because of this thing. I am now, because the thing that dilutes the negative part is the clarity. Through negative situations, we learn a lot. There just are. I mean, there's nothing wrong with something being negative. I'm not saying it's a bad, because all experiences are good. So whether it's a teaching, or I don't know, personal experience, or a relationship, whatever it is, I feel, often learn the most from what would be deemed as negative. I just use the term
It has a
negative.
more impact, kind of
Yeah.
like how I'm like addicted to suffering.
Whatever it is. No, absolutely. Yeah. And that's a negative experience. I don't think you'd object to that.
Yeah, that's true. It's like I don't remember it if it didn't hurt.
Exactly. And usually the experiences that land the most would be the negative ones.
And painful.
Yeah, but they bring clarity.
Yes.
If you're conscious, they
As
can
long as
bring
you don't
clarity.
hold on to that pain and you let it go.
Exactly. So that's the clarity part.
We are so wise.
All right. I will receive that. I try. Anyway, so.
All right, Theo. Be honest, does all of this, your journey, your enlightenment, blah, 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 does it actually make life easier or just different?
Well, it's definitely different. I will say that off the top. That's actually very nuanced. That's an excellent question, because I can answer that there's two ways to reply to that, because what I would say is, on the journey, air quotes, you go through a lot of transformations. So, but generally what happens, and it happened to me, is you go, and I had this, and a lot of people have this, they have the awakening experience of law of attraction, or wow, my consciousness does change things, and things come to me depending on my vibration. That's actually correct. And then life changes. But what also happens, which can happen, not all the time, but it happened with me, and I've seen it with others, is that to change your vibration, you will have to face some things within yourself, which means dramatic shifts in your life, which for a short period of time can be seen as painful, catastrophic, massive shifts in your life, which in that moment you kind of curse the fact that you ever opened up a spiritual book, or you ever listened to that podcast or that channel, because now my life is 10 times worse. At least when I was, mildly suffering, I was kind of open. Now I'm, having a really difficult time. So sometimes in the short term, it can be difficult. In the long term, it absolutely is. My life, I cannot even describe. And I would read a lot of things where people would say this thing, and I would actually almost want to punch them in the face when I was going through a very difficult time, because when you're going through a difficult time, you're going through a difficult time, and I don't want to hear all the glowy, angel light, sparkly. It comes out better. When you're going through a tough time, you curse everyone, which I did. But
But you can't go back.
you cannot go. No, you cannot. Oh, well, that's it.
I've wanted to go back at times.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't.
You cannot
Well,
take.
you can't, but I'm glad.
Yeah, you can't take the blue pill. Once you take the red pill, that's it. There's no way back. And I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I would not want to go back. But the point is, your question is, well, does it improve you? In the short term, sometimes no. Sometimes it's difficult because you're going through the change of the caterpillar to the butterfly, and the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and turns into mush. And when you're in the mush state,
You have no idea you're going to be a butterfly.
you have no idea.
And it's the hardest thing ever, I think.
It is I would even say, profound thing coming up, it is the hardest thing a human being will ever do, easily, to make this transformation. Not even close. And not many people do it. Some do. A few people do. But it absolutely is. It's indescribably difficult. And it's like telling a caterpillar, you're going to turn into the mush thing, and maybe you'll turn into a butterfly.
But you can't even comprehend.
You cannot.
That.
That's a good point. You cannot. You can't even comprehend.
But I think that in the long run, like, it's not completely gone, but I feel so much lighter, less guilt.
Yes.
I have
Absolutely.
compassion for myself. The voices in my head have quieted. I know that sounds cheesy,
No, I
but
hear
like
you.
my aspects, they're like integrated. Is that
Yeah.
the word?
Yeah.
So it's quieter, and I still react to stuff, but I also can see myself reacting and like stop it.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, so I'm like, I don't pity myself or others. I used to
Wow.
always feel sorry for people, but now I know that a truck went by.
Yeah.
Now I know that they are in their journey, and if they need help, they can ask. So I just feel more, not all the time, but most of the time, like at peace.
Wow. I'm getting
Do you know what I mean?
I'm
Agree or?
I'm getting goosebumps right now. That is awesome. Yes. That is literally the technical definition or the Buddhist definition of compassion, the broader sense, the greater
Yeah.
definition of compassion.
But for myself.
Yes. Starting with yourself.
And that's the catalyst for me for
Yes.
self-love.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
And I agree. That was beautifully said. And I experienced my version of that. And it is, I mean, it's like some of the biblical stuff about, what was the quote in the Bible about
I wouldn't know.
a peace that surpasses understanding. That's kind of what it is. Things like that, where you get to this whole other level once you've released all those layers and levels, the voices, and it's indescribable. And you described it pretty good. And I've had my experience of that too. It's just, and it's also the Buddhist notion of the end of suffering, because the suffering that you've gone through pretty much ends. A lot of the classic religious traditions talk about this kind of transcendent state of clear consciousness.
Yeah. I'm just a weirdo, so I think I'll always have a little bit of suffering, but I choose that, and now I can choose it instead of just suffering. I could be like, I choose to suffer today.
Absolutely.
And then tomorrow
Absolutely.
I will not. But,
There you go. If it's your choice,
yeah.
absolutely.
But it's a choice now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's a big one. It's a choice now. Very good.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up, and I just wanted to say that you don't need to wake up. You don't need to seek anything. If anything from this conversation lands, great. If not, at least notice where you're clenching. You're allowed to sit down. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you one more thing. If you could take one thing from this conversation, not as a belief, just as a permission, what would it be?
That's a good ending question. This is kind of personal, just in the sense, so my dialoguing with you, I literally have not talked to anyone about this stuff. I mean, I have talked to some friends, but not in a way that I've opened up kind of in this way, because a part of what I've gone through, air quotes, is just had to be inside. And I'm very cautious about expressing these things, but this conversation with you and these questions, being excellent, by the way, a part of me is, it's okay to talk about these things, to be expressive, to share now, and not worry about, how will people take this? I'm in my truth. I have zero interest in broadcasting or talking about my truth, air quotes. You can't see my doing air
You do
quotes.
a lot of air quotes.
I do a lot of air quotes. But at the same time, I don't want to shut down either or hide anything. So I'm very, I was happy to talk to you about these questions. And I didn't, initially I was hesitant. So my take on this is just to be.
I didn't know that.
Not a huge thing, but there's a backup thing. Honestly, on one of the things this loops back to one of the other questions is, my truths have changed so much that, like, what I would have said even 5 years ago, it wasn't bad. I'm very cautious about saying something and then saying, well, this is how I am, and I make these declarations, and it's like, the truth is constantly evolving, and I just kind of given up on, just let that go. So I'm very cautious about saying things, well, this is about this, and you should feel this about that, because it keeps changing for me. But I feel pretty good now that.
Yeah, I feel like you're in a good place too.
Yeah, I am. So just be, you can be overly cautious, not be cautious. If it feels right to share, and don't be shy. And again, it's very, one of the corniest ones out there, shine your light. And so.
Wait, I kind of feel like that kind of is like mine, where it says not to care about others' behavior.
Yeah.
Or what they think.
That's connected, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, let's see, I give myself permission to let people be weird, disappointing,
yes,
or dumb without making it my problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's been a big thing for me. I will add, if we get triggered, there are points of consciousness. So never ever judge, or I don't judge, because that's just a negative, get in a negative loop.
Yeah, just let them be them.
Yes, but it's okay also to feel a reaction. Never judge anyone, never blame anyone, but be honest about your feelings or what comes up with. That's fine too.
But it's also okay, and this is important for me, to I don't have to be right, and I don't need to engage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I am so micromanaging people's behaviors and engaging all the time, and I'm letting that go, and I've actually been doing pretty okay.
That's good. No, absolutely. No,
Stay in my lane.
Stay in your lane, absolutely. And even when I say I'm triggered, 99.73% of the time, it's never appropriate to engage with someone to say, oh, you're doing this thing. Sometimes it is, because if they're affecting what's going on, your behavior. But
it depends on your relationship.
Absolutely.
If you're close, I would like you to tell me, hey.
Yeah, you're right. It's certain relationships, personal or business ones, where you're engaging on a particular way. That's okay. But general things, whether it's a family member that you're not really in contact with, or a friend, or something you observe in the world, someone's behavior, and they're like, oh, or just, you're walking down the street and you see something you don't like. You maybe get triggered. That's okay. I get triggered all the time. And honestly, I don't mind the triggers, because they're always reflecting something back to me. I'm not angry about it, but that's so-and-so's doing that thing, and how do I feel about that? But that's all internal. I almost never engage the other person. But
I engage.
How would you define engaging?
Like when I followed that lady for honking
Yeah,
at me, that's pretty engaging.
That was very specific.
Oh, that's a story. I don't even need to get into details,
that's
because I am
time.
a different person now.
That is another podcast waiting to happen. But that was a very particular moment, and that's almost its own category, actually, because we can talk about it another time. Generally though, yes, it's not good to engage, because, and I would say this as well, if I'm engaging, generally, if I'm worried about how someone's affecting me, it's a form of suffering, because I'm like, if someone can affect me that way, I'm suffering.
That's my problem. I used to, or still a little bit, be affected, so affected.
Yeah, that's what I would describe as suffering. If someone can affect you, you're suffering.
Yeah.
But if they trigger you and you become conscious, that's different. That's actually making you more conscious. It's very subtle. They can seem the same thing, but they're very, very different. If someone can just do some behavior and you go, oh, I don't like what they did, you're suffering. But if they do something you don't like, and you go, why am I angry about this?
Yeah, that's what I do now.
Good, that's it.
But then I also try to be just be angry and let it pass, and sometimes I don't want to dive into it.
Yeah, That's good. That's good. That's a much better.
It is way much. I feel more at peace
Yes.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, paradoxically, I'm getting triggered quite a lot. I'm not suffering though, because my triggers are making me conscious, and that's a completely different thing.
Oh, good. All right. Well, this was awesome. Yeah. So unclench those butt cheeks.
Yes.
I couldn't not end with that. Goodbye.
Yeah. No, that's a good way. Yes.